Welcome to the Catch Up After Show, Power Book 2. Gonna be getting to this real soon, just get some things set up. Episode 2, guys. We back here again. Give Tariq a chance. Hashtag give Tariq a chance. Alright, about to get into this thing. Just give me a couple seconds. Enjoy the show, guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, the JH Review on YouTube, listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Let's get it.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it, this is where it goes down. Just happen to come up hard. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
I never took a straight path nowhere. Life's full of twists and turns, bumps and bruises. I live, I learn. I'm from that city full of yellow cabs and skyscrapers. It's hard to get a start in these spots.
What's going on, everybody? Back here again. Back on the ones and twos. Alright. So, welcome to the Catch Up After Show. Back here again for Power Book 2 Ghost, Episode 2. The title of this episode was Exceeding Expectations. This episode did not exceed my expectations. I'm just kidding, but let's get into it. So, speaking of the title, I'm going to be paying close attention to the title of these episodes and see how they correlate with the episode itself. And also, I noticed another pattern going on as far as these books that Tariq has to read. This is the second time they've focused on a certain piece of literature in this episode. Last episode was called The Stranger, and the book that he had to read was called The Stranger. And there was a lot of emphasis on that story and how it correlated to how he felt about his own father shooting his father. So with this episode, he was tasked with reading Great Expectations, as this episode is called, Exceeding Expectations. So, honestly, there really wasn't much focus. Maybe I need to go back and look at it again, but I was trying to find some type of correlation, but there really wasn't that much of a focus on the book this time. But there was a book that he did have to read, and it was called Great Expectations. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, is this gonna be a recurring theme going on in Power so far? So we'll see with episode 3. Is he gonna have to read another book? So yeah, just something I thought I'd point out. Major plot as far as what's going on in this episode is, of course, the funeral for Ghost is going to be happening. Man, is Ghost dead or not? I'll get to that question when I get to the funeral part, but they do not show a body in this episode. Just keep that in mind. But I know all the fans just have this Hail Mary hope of Ghost somehow just, I faked my death. I'm Tupac. I'm in Cuba. But yeah, I'm gonna get to that. But anyway, yeah. But like I said, the funeral has happened this episode, and Tariq is tasked with the eulogy. He has to give the eulogy, and he has a choice of giving a good eulogy or painting his father in a bright light, or basically running down his father. These are the two options he is given. As far as how he is comes into that situation, let's get into that as I get into the review. So we stopped last episode. He was looking up some more information as far as the Tejada family, Lorenzo, We saw him Googling his name, so he's looking for another avenue to run his drugs, get more, money so he can pay Davis, who's still looking for his money, so he can defend Tasha. So we also see that's what we start with. Davis is in the interrogation room with Tasha, and he brings along another I guess some assistant counsel to help him out or whatever, because he's like, man, you ain't even got the money to pay me, so talk to this woman right here. And I did not get her name. I should have wrote her name down, but she ain't that important anyway. So but anyway, she's pretty much drilling Tasha as far as her story with Tommy killing, she told Tommy to kill Ghost or something like that. But yeah. Speaking of Tommy, will Tommy appear in Power Book 2? I think it's a slim chance. But maybe like in the season finale or something like that, he might make a cameo or something. But I think their focus is going to be keeping him for his own spinoff. But it'll be great to see Tommy again. But right now he's presumably in the West Coast. That's where it's supposed to be taking place. So, that's where he's going. So yeah, that's it on Tommy. But anyway, what else do we have here? Then we go right into Tariq. Once again, he's running late for class. Is this going to be a reoccurring thing? Every episode, he's late for class. Just making black folks look bad, man. Just being late all the time. But anyway, so yeah, before I get into this, we are introduced to a little bit more about his class. This is Jabbar's class, and there's this chick. We're not told much about it. I just thought it was funny. Her name is Brew Chandria, which is the most ghetto name, but somehow she's going to this prestigious college, so she has to have some type of intelligence, but she's ghetto, very ghetto. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of her as the season goes, but that's a new character we're introduced to, so I just thought that was funny. Other than that, yeah, so Jabbar is pretty much drilling Tariq about the book Great Expectations, and once again he has not finished reading the book, and Professor Jabari knows. So yeah, so he's pretty much chewing him out for not finishing the book. Gotta finish your work, Tariq, man. But anyway, what do we got next segment here? Man, I'm only on my third segment, and I think I wrote down at least 20 segments. Man, I got a long way to go. I might skip some of these. So anyway, Davis meets with Tariq, and with the funeral, this is where the whole good eulogy, bad eulogy comes in. He wants him to paint Ghost in a bad light. So he wants pretty much just run down his name at the funeral. So knowing Tariq, there's a good chance he might do that. But as we go later into the episode, he meets up with Simon Stern, and Simon Stern wants him to give him a glowing review, so to say, at his eulogy. So he has to decide which side to go with. But I think even later in the episode, now I'm skipping around my segments, so when I get to these actual parts, I'm probably just gonna gloss over them. I'm trying not to go step by step by step, and so I'm gonna skip around a little bit. So Tariq also meets with Tasha back at the jail, and he wants to know what to do, and she's kind of like in the middle. It's complicated. So all these sides are going to come into play as far as how he gives his eulogy, but I'll get to that when I get to the funeral, as far as the end of the episode, because it's towards the end. So, where are we at here? We're showing Braden once again, and he wants to get back in the business, bring the Choke Boys back together. But, Tariq is like, nah, I ain't doing that no more. So, but I think eventually, he's going to bring him in. he's just basically his Tommy. That's what's gonna happen. That's where it's leading to. Then after that, we find out Monet is sleeping with Ramirez, which is basically the police cop that the Tejada family they have in his pocket and in their pocket. But they're sleeping together, but she doesn't want the kids to know. So if you don't want somebody to know, eventually somebody's gonna find out something. So they're gonna find out. Somebody in the family's gonna find out. And Ramirez is pretty much, he wants to be exclusive with her. So he's like, why are you still with this guy that's serving life in jail? So pretty much her explanation is that Lorenzo's name attached to hers gives her protection in the street. So I would understand why you wouldn't want to let that protection and power go. So yeah, keep getting yours on the side. Okay. Brought back to Zeke, Mr. Zeke again. He's turning in his assignment that Tariq did for him with Carrie, and Tariq tells him early in the episode to make sure you read your paper because she's going to be asking questions and stuff like that, and she does, and somehow he makes it through without her being suspicious. But eventually, I think they're going to find out that Tariq is writing Zeke's paper. It's only a matter of time, but anyway. He's trying to make a play at her during this scene, and she keeps curving him. So that was pretty funny too. But of course we know why now, because she has a love interest for Jabari, even though they used to date in the past, and it's revealed a little bit why they did break up. Jabari used to be this writer or whatever. He wrote this novel, and the character in the novel was about her, and I guess she didn't like it. So that's what led to their breakup. But of course, everything is not as simple, and it's a little more complicated than that, as they end up having sex in the office. And I thought in power fashion we were going to see some tatas, but they kept it pretty decent, some partial nudity. That was about it. We didn't see no tatas in this one, but y'all know how power gets down. But we'll see. Maybe they toned it down a little bit as far as the sex scenes go. I don't know. Okay. Where am I at here? I have the next segment as Simon meeting up with Tariq, but I talked about that already. So we are going to move to the next page here, guys. Oh my. All right. So, okay. Like I said, I've been skipping around. Some stuff just comes to me fluidly. So, I talked about this already. Tasha meeting up with Tariq, and him asking her what she should do. But also in this scene, Tasha asked Tariq where he got the money from, and basically she said, "Did you open back up the daycare business?" Even though she knows pretty much how he's getting the money, he still denies it. So she's not completely 100%, but yeah. Then after that, let's see here. Tariq meets with Carrie, and she's concerned about him struggling in class. Then he gets a text from Zeke. Then this is where we see Tariq having dinner with the Tejada family, and this is where we get introduced into their uncle, Frank, who is suspiciously home early from jail. So Tariq, being the smart guy that he is, figures out that he pretty much had to snitch or talk to get out early. So I'll get to that back in just, but going back to the dinner table, Frank comes, everybody, it gets very uncomfortable, and then eventually he's told to leave. But another thing I noticed here was Drew. He has like some interest in Tariq. When Tariq was talking about his, his class and stuff like that, and he also mentioned that he had an art class, and Drew was like, "What kind of art class?" So, as far as Drew, I don't know. Is he gonna be like on the up and up? Is he gonna be like interested in like art or something like that? Is he gonna be involved more in the family business? I don't know. But he seemed to take an interest when he mentioned art class, and also when Monet told Kane to take Tariq home, Drew insisted that he took Tariq home, but they like nah, can't take him home. But so we're gonna see what happens as far as Drew and how he's gonna be connected to Tariq. So that was an interesting point right there. We got, I already said that Tariq figures out that Frank is pretty much a rat. Kane stops while he's driving, he stops the car and tells Tariq gets out, and Tariq pretty much, he didn't show no fear. I thought he was gonna be like, but I honestly thought Tariq was about to get pistol whipped. Kane took out his gun. I thought Tariq was gonna get pistol whipped for a minute. But he was like, yeah, man, pretty much you can trust me. And then he was like, hey, look, man, your uncle is a rat. He's got out of jail, or how you think he got out of jail so quick? He's a rat. So that gains his trust a little bit, but also even more suspicious as when Kane gets back to the house, he tells Monet, like, yeah, the dude's smart. He knew that Frank was a rat. So this arouses Monet's suspicion even more, and she wants to know more about Tariq. And if she can trust him. So, yeah. All right. So got that second page out the way. I'm almost done, man. I'm halfway. I think I wrote like 4 pages of notes. So, next scene, we find out that Carrie is holding some type of candlelight ceremony for ghosts, and she think this will appease Tariq. Tariq just walked up in the thing like, nah, bro, let's go to this party, Braden. So that's what happened with that. You shut that down quick. And then we found out that at this party, Braden and his brother is hosting the party, actually. So we find out a little bit more about the Weston family and how much power they actually have when the police come to shut down the party, and they're like, nah, man, we the Weston family. So it's like, we know. So they shut that down real quick. So that might be something that actually Tariq can use as far as being connected to that family. So Tariq might want to think twice as far as, letting Braden into the business, because Braden was like, look, man, I already got the setup right here. I got all these white guys ready to do whatever they're selling, coke, molly, whatever. So yeah, like I said, Braden and Tariq are eventually going to link up. It's inevitable. Okay, so where we're at here, give me a second, y'all. I'm pretty much talked about everything on here. Okay, next scene, we are introduced to an inmate called Jones, and she's arguing with the I guess one of the the POs there, COs. I said PO, CO. And she's trying to get some Plan B pills because she's having sex with some unidentified male within the compound. And at this point, I'm like, okay, Tasha's, kind of eavesdropping in on the conversation. So I'm like, is this going to be an ally or is this going to be an enemy? But we find out later in the episode that she's going to be basically trying to get her on this side. For what reasons, I don't know. But Tasha wants Jones as an ally. So, but yeah, more into that later. Okay. Where we at here? So we're finally at the funeral here. And guess who's back? My guy, Tate. I didn't like Tate at first. But I just, towards the end of season 1 of Power, I was like, man, I like Tate, man. governor or nothing. But yeah, anyway, so he's, putting on his facade, shaking hands. He shook the hands of all the family members except Tasha. And the reason why is, okay, Tasha gets there. And we're thinking that Tariq is going to be doing the eulogy, right? But they changed plans, and they're going to have Tasha do the eulogy. So that was the plan until Sax puts handcuffs on her, so she can't do it. And then Tariq is like, okay, I'll do it. So yeah, when Tariq gives his the eulogy, everybody's been waiting for this moment, right? He doesn't go on the good side, the bad. So he's pretty much said my dad was a complicated man. So he kind of used the story that everybody, some that basically pleased all sides. So that's how he got out of that. So once again, using his, wits and intelligence, Tariq is an intelligent young man. I got to give it to him. But yeah, he's still going to get pistol whipped at some point. I want to see him get pistol whipped. Can Tariq fight? I don't know. That's what I was thinking in this episode. I'm like, if he gets in a confrontation, can he fight? I guess he can shoot, but can he fight? We'll see, I guess. But yeah, going back to the question I posed early in the episode, is Ghost truly dead? We ain't seen no body, man. And they haven't shown a body for a reason. I think at this point, yes, he's dead. He's dead. But I think they're leaving themselves an out just in case, they want to make a surprise. Oops, I wasn't dead all the time. I faked my death. So I still think they're holding that trump card if they ever want to use it. But I think at the time, they don't plan on bringing Ghost back. But, we shall see. But we have not seen a body. Okay. Before the funeral is over, Tasha leans over to Tariq and basically says, hey, I need this plan B pill for Miss Jones so she can be on her side. So we don't know how, as far as why she wants to align herself with Jones, but we'll find out eventually as she does get the pill. Tariq basically goes through Diana. He asks her, and then Diana is like, yeah, he asked me to get this pill for his mother that's in jail. And Monet's like, okay. So at this point, Ramirez is back at the house, and she asks him to dig up more information on Tariq, and that's where the episode ends. But before that, Kane pulls up, and he sees that his car is there. Now, he doesn't see, them making out or anything like that. He just sees him pull up to the house. So I guess he can gather, okay, maybe he's giving her some information, which he was, about Frank, which she already knew. And but as of now, visually, he didn't see anything going on between them, but he has his suspicions. So he's going to be the first one to know about Ramirez and Monet having this little fling or whatever. So but yeah, at the end of the episode, there's a book, The Great Expectations. So we tied the end of the episode with that book, and when Tasha sits down at her little call thingamabob, she feels something under the seat. She reaches for the book, opens it up. There's a burner cell phone and the pill. My only question is something wrong with that phone? Because it came from the Tejada family. Maybe it's I don't know. It could be like bugged or something like that and record conversations or something like that. I don't know if they're real tech savvy like that, but it could be. I don't know. But I just found it kind of weird that they gave her a phone. But Anyway, yeah, Tasha calls Tariq. Tariq's like, Ma, he wasn't expecting her to get a phone. But yeah, so Tasha now has a direct line of communication with Tariq while in jail, and she has the pill for Jones. So how is this gonna tie in? What's gonna be their relationship? We shall see. But as for that, that's gonna be the end of my review here. I am in 25 minutes. I think I gave y'all a show here. Anyway, what are y'all thoughts on this episode? Did y'all like it? Is it getting better for you guys, or is it just like, but yeah. So with that being said, that was Power Book 2, Episode 2, Great Expectations. I look forward to seeing y'all for episode number 3. I don't know how many total episodes there are this season, but yeah, gonna be tuning in here for episode 3. I'll see y'all next week. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also make sure to listen on Spotify, listen on Apple Podcasts. I still got to upload episode 1 and this episode up to the podcast formats if y'all want to hear on those audio formats instead of on YouTube. All at VJH Review. So with that being said, I'm out of here. I will see y'all later. Peace.